What's up, you guys? It's Scott from Fly Rides, back again with another review on a bike series that I have been waiting to ride for years, ever since lightweight eMTBs started to be a thing. I see these bikes out on the trails. I wanted to just steal them right off of the guys who were riding them already. Just kidding, I could never forgive myself if I went the way of the bike thief. But let's get back on track here. These bikes are from Spain. They are from a company called Orbea that I'm sure a couple of you have heard of. We're talking about the Orbea Rise series, and more specifically, the Hydro bikes, and even more specifically, the Orbea Rise H30. Why are these Orbea Rise bikes so exciting? Well, that's because they are lightweight eMTBs, but they are going to offer almost as much power from the motor as a full-powered eMTB. The Orbea Rise H30 is going to be the entry-level model in the Hydro series, so it's going to offer a lot of the same features as the higher-end Hydro bikes, but will those specs perform on the H30? There's only one way to find out. Let's check it out. Enough with the foreplay, let's talk about specs, baby.
Let's talk about specs, baby.
Starting off, of course, with that Shimano EP8 RS motor. Guys, this motor is incredible. I'm gonna just go ahead and spoil that up top. I really dig it. It's got 60 Newton meters of torque, 250 watts nominal. It offers almost everything that the Shimano EP8 motor offers. That natural feel you get when you're riding one of these motors is represented by that RS, which stands for Rider Synergy, and describes that warm, tingly feeling you get when you're getting smooth support from your eMTB. That partners with a 540 watt-hour battery, which is massive for a lightweight eMTB. I don't even know how they get this on there. Similar to that 60 Newton meters of torque, if you think just a couple of years back, 540 watt-hour batteries were more than the standard. So we had 500 watt-hour batteries for a long time, and I never really had any issues with range back then, so I doubt you're going to be having issues with range on the 540 watt-hour battery. Not to mention the fact that Orbea says you can expect these bikes to last about 1.5 times as long as a full-powered heavy eMTB because of the weight savings and also the less powerful motor. But if you're not convinced by the 540 watt-hour battery, you can add a 252 watt-hour range extender. Personally, I don't think it's totally necessary, but if that's how you're looking to spend your money, you go ahead, my friend. But in reality, it is nice to have that option to add that range extender, even if it's just for use in an emergency situation when you end up out on the trails longer than you expected. You always want to see a wide gear ratio and a solid derailleur on these bikes that are going to be a little bit less powerful, these lightweight bikes, and you are set up on this bike with an excellent derailleur. It's a Shimano SLX M7100 Shadow Plus 12-speed drivetrain on a 10 to 51 tooth cassette. You get your group set rounded out by Shimano as well. It's going to be hydraulic disc brakes on 180mm rotors, front and rear. I've always thought the Rise series really rides that line between cross-country and all-mountain pretty nicely. It's got 140 millimeters of travel. Your fork is going to be a Bomber Z2, and the rear shock is going to be a Fox Float Performance DPS. That cross-country all-mountain status is confirmed further by a head tube angle of 65.5 degrees and a seat tube angle of 76.5. Now let's talk a little bit about the lightweight designation of the Orbea Rise series. So you might notice that I have not offered a weight yet, and that is because Orbea does not give us a weight. That might come off as a little bit fishy to you. Their reasoning is because they want you to give it a shot and compare it with other bikes in the electric mountain bike industry, which I think is fair. It is definitely more lightweight than most of those, but that doesn't change the fact that you might want to know how these bikes perform and if they are as lightweight as Orbea says they are. So we're going to take this Orbea Rise H30 out for a spin, and I'm going to come back here and let you know what we thought. I definitely agree with Orbea that we should be judging these bikes more on their performance, but I will definitely want to be able to feel a difference between the Orbea Rise series and my full-powered eMTBs. So let's go take it for a ride, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Test ride number 1, here we go. Orbea Rise H30, black and orange. Trick or treat, baby. Let's find out if it's a trick or a treat. I want to guess it's a treat. We're a beautiful day out here in San Diego, Las Penasquitos Canyon. We're about to go hit Cardiac Hill, see how this thing climbs. And then do a little section through tunnels, which is always a fun time. And actually what this bike is made for, being that it's more cross country, all mountain style, tunnels is perfect for this e-bike. As you can see, cardiac hill, baby. See how she does. Here we go. Slightly out of breath, but that's the point. You want to get a workout. So, find a good cadence, set your sights, let the motor do the work, and it's taking it like no problem. The best part, I think, is you can actually set 2 profiles. Profile 1 is default. I think that's set at 47 Newton meters, and that gives you a really long range. Profile 2, we've maxed out the power. Currently, we're riding in Profile 2 setting, so we've got the full 60 Newton meters of torque in boost mode, taking cardiac hill like it's no big deal. So here we go, getting into the mouth of what's called Tunnel 4. Enjoy. Woo. Yeah. Yes, sir. Woo. Little Lucy. Oh, rocks. There's rocks. Look at all these rocks. Ew. Ooh, especially right there. Ew. So flowy. This bike is doing great. It is absolutely easy to turn, easy to lean. You can even throw that back wheel around if you wanted to get around a real tight turn. Here's some suspension work. Ew, no problem. Here we go, let's get some speed back up. Yep, see, you can just skirt around those branches and trees, no problem. Oh, this section's so beautiful. Ooh, here it is. Full charge. Yes, sir. Cake. And we got a little bit of an uphill here. I'm gonna put it into boost. Downshift. 60 Newton meters, no problem. It's like, what's the point of having a ton of power if 60 Newton meters on a lightweight e-bike is all you really need? I tell you what though, if you're coming from a motocross background and you like the power, the speed, the weight, then a full powered eMTB is what you're gonna need. The componentry is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you get an SLX 12-speed Shimano drivetrain. Marzocchi Bomber up front is not bad, 140 mil travel, and the Fox Float DPS in the rear, again 140 travel. What I'm really surprised about actually is after a full day of riding, I'm 1 bar down. I was expecting to maybe get 3, maybe 4 hours out of this, but it seems like I can go about 6, 7 almost. Hello, Scott.
How'd it go? Hey guys. Nice to see someone else on camera for once. You got a little mud on you there.
Oh no, yeah, let's go ahead and...
Welcome back. So those were our thoughts in the moment, but let's do a little bit more of a retrospective now that I've had some time to reflect on the Orbea Rise bikes. One thing that is completely certain is that the Orbea Rise H30 provides a unique experience outside of any other bike in the industry. It's way different than a full-powered eMTB because it is much lighter weight than that, and you really can't put it with the super lightweight bikes either because it has so much power and a way bigger battery. So it covers this nice middle ground that I think a lot of people will appreciate. My issue with some of the super light bikes is that they don't really last as long as I'd like them to for a full day's riding, And then my issue with full-powered eMTBs is I don't like putting them on the back of my rack, and I can't jump on them at all. They are too heavy for a little guy like me. The Orbea Rise offers a unique experience when compared to those other two categories. Specifically with the H30, I think it offers an incredible ride, especially for the price point. Price-wise, this bike is listed as an entry-level bike, but I think it rides way better than that. The other thing about the H30's price point is that it primes the bike for upgrades if you do want to upgrade that suspension long term or swap out the wheels, tires. This bike isn't breaking the bank so much that you can't do any upgrades on it, especially when you're comparing it to other super light bikes on the market. As always, I would recommend you go to flyride.usa.com to take a look at the most up-to-date price point and compare the H30 not only to the other Rise bikes, but also to other bikes within the industry. And if you're not already thinking that this bike is at a good price point, I think once you see what other bikes are running for, you probably are gonna be right there with me. I don't feel like I need a bike that's more powerful, and I definitely don't need crazy specs. I just don't ride that hard. For the fast flowing single track that I like to do, there's no doubt that the H30 performs very well, and I never had issues with climbing up big hills or running out of battery just with that 540 watt hours. You also can't ignore how good this bike looks in person. It's incredibly sleek and low profile. You can tell Orbea has done a lot of work, for instance on the welding to keep this aluminum frame lasting longer. It's just a really beautifully designed bike. I really fell in love with that Shimano EP8 RS motor over the last couple days. I think Orbea and Shimano really did a great job of designing a motor that is so good for the specific bikes they're used on. It's pretty rare you get a motor that is so tuned to a specific bike, but that is definitely one of the advantages of going with the Orbea Rise series, is that Shimano EP8 RS motor, which again was designed specifically for these bikes. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Flyrides electric bike channel so that you don't miss any of our e-bike reviews. If you are stuck deciding between a full-powered eMTB and a super light e-bike, I've got a couple videos for you to watch that I'll pop up right here. So before you head out to the shop, make sure you check out those videos so that you have all the knowledge you need going into your purchase situation. And until next time, enjoy the ride.